Welcome. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2021 Teach at CUNY Summer Institute. I'm Luke Waltzer, Director of the Teaching and Learning Center. I'm the one who's been emailing you for the past several months about this event. As I talk, I'd like to invite everyone who's here to introduce themselves in the chat, sharing your name, your program, your pronouns, if you'd like, where you're teaching, and where you're currently located. Hoping to have an active chat alongside the presentation this morning and during all of the plenaries that we have this week. This morning kicks off the fourth Teach at CUNY Summer Institute. And I want to congratulate you all for being here this morning. It's a sign of your commitment to the teaching that awaits you this fall and beyond. And I commend you for taking the time to be serious about this work. The team at the TLC shares your commitment, and we're really looking forward to a great and productive 2 weeks with you all. I'd like to start by acknowledging some hard facts about the moment that we're in, facts that make this moment distinct in both the history of the Institute and the history of this institution, the history of CUNY. And as you all know, we're now nearly 18 months into a pandemic, and cases are once again surging. The disruption caused by these facts are cascading through our experiences and lives and those of our students. And this will continue to be true through the fall and beyond. Many, most, perhaps all of us are exhausted. And the trauma from the past year will persist for some time. I just want to kind of acknowledge that at the outset. At last year's Institute in 2020, we prepared knowing that the fall and spring semesters would likely be entirely online. This year is more chaotic. Those who are attending this institute are teaching online classes, face-to-face classes, and hybrid courses. Some are teaching in one mode while also preparing for the possibility of having to switch modes. And this is really hard for everyone. It's hard for you, it's hard for your students, it's hard for us to figure out how best to support you. Campuses across CUNY are proceeding with reopening plans, and it's possible that revisions are going to be made between now and the beginning of classes in 3 weeks, or even after then, to what the plans are. It's unclear ultimately what percentage of courses will actually be in person on each campus, and to what extent students will be physically present once campuses open in a couple of weeks. The university itself is focused on keeping students engaged and enrolled. It's promised to erase the debt of 50,000 CUNY students that they've accrued over the past 2 years. Vaccinations are required for students to attend class in person, and vaccination or a recent negative COVID test are required to access campus resources. And I'm just going to share in the chat here the most up-to-date, let me share that with everyone and not just the panelists, up-to-date coronavirus vaccination policy for the university. So it's against this chaotic context then that we welcome you into the community of CUNY teachers whose commitment has always been at the heart of this institution. We do so knowing full well that many of you have never set physical foot on a CUNY campus, a fact that must make you feel really, really weird about your connection to the institution. It also must make imagining yourself teaching very, very difficult, and we want to acknowledge that. We hope and expect that the next couple of weeks can help. Historically, this institute has been a site of community building among a group of new college teachers, featuring cross-disciplinary conversations and lots of space for discovering what excites you, us all, about teaching. We've designed the Institute this year in the hopes that those connections, the aha moments, will happen again despite the challenges I laid out above. I'll discuss in a bit more detail the structure of the Institute in a moment, but first I want to talk about our goals for this event. The goal of the Institute is to help you each build a foundation upon which you can grow as a teacher within and beyond the CUNY context. The Institute has never been about preparing attendees for a specific course or a specific semester, or to design a specific assignment, but rather it's been about facilitating the kind of thinking that can help attendees grow and evolve as educators who are able to think and to move nimbly across teaching context. The reason for that is practical. You'll all be teaching in different contexts. Right? Some of the students attending this institute are doing so as instructors of record. Others are assigned as teaching assistants or lab instructors. You're coming to the Institute from more than 20 doctoral programs at the Graduate Center, and you'll be teaching on 10 campuses. Some of you are teaching in areas that are close to your areas of research. Some of you are teaching outside of your areas of focus, right? Some of you, it even alarms me to say, may not even know what you're teaching yet at this late date in the summer, right? So as we've refined the Institute for the summer, we felt some pressure to focus on the fall semester and heavily on the skills and tools of online and hybrid teaching. And there'll certainly be place for that kind of practical hands-on work throughout the next 2 weeks. But we also want to preserve and hold on to the idea at the heart of this institute of pedagogical foundations, of committing to spending time thinking through why you're doing something. You'll find as you grow as a teacher that if you have a strong answer for why you're doing something, it will become easier and less daunting to figure out how you should do it. Right? So the next 2 weeks and then the semesters you'll be teaching while pursuing graduate work at CUNY are opportunities to really develop those foundations. Before turning to the structure of the Institute and walking you through what the next 2 weeks will look like, I want to share a few ideas that even beyond the reading that you've done or that you will do from our Teach at CUNY handbook, we want you to remember as you go through this institute. Right? And the first idea is compassion and the necessity to hold it for your students and for yourselves at all times, but especially this coming semester. It's common for beginning teachers to put a lot of pressure on themselves and on their students to push beyond their limits and capacity for work in any given school year. Even experienced college teachers do this. I do this from time to time, right? In fact, one of the reasons that you're in graduate school and that we're all in this space together is that we've grown comfortable with pushing ourselves beyond our intellectual comfort zones, right? We all have experience responding well to such challenges. What we're all going through now is very, very difficult. And though the institutions where we do our work are attempting to push us back to some sense of normality, the lived material conditions for many of us are far from stable at this moment. We're also quite aware that what was normal 2 years ago didn't work for everybody, right? So given the complexity of our students' lives, the fact that they continue to show up, to be enrolled, right, to come to class, to do the work with us that we ask them to do is noteworthy, right? It's okay to acknowledge that in our teaching. And that's a good place to start when imagining our work in our students. Showing up and doing the work and occupying our commitment to one another is really important. That is a necessary first step, and we should acknowledge that. Teaching in this context is really hard. There are going to be technical problems, interruptions, unexpected challenges, confusion, conflicts, mixed messages from the campuses. All right, one message from the graduate center, another message from the campus where you're teaching, right? It's difficult to get into a groove when teaching online courses in this context or hybrid courses in this context. The feedback loops are elusive, and our attention and the attention of our students is often divided, right? And I just want to urge you all not to judge yourself too harshly, especially if you're just beginning as a college teacher. Be compassionate for your students and be compassionate for yourself, right? And keep in mind this notion that this is the most challenging context in which any of us has ever worked and taught. The second idea is to think small and to think about experiences. Beginning teachers often feel compelled to cram as much information as they can into a lesson, into a unit, into a course. We may teach a history survey and feel like we need to get to the end of the period, right, that the course is about or that we failed. Or we may be teaching a writing class, and that if we say at the beginning of the semester we're going to assign 4 essays, we feel compelled to assign that 4th essay no matter how exhausted everyone is, and even if we all feel like there's a better, more productive way to spend our time together, right? But we have more control than that to set the pace and the expectations for our courses. And I want to urge you to use the privilege of that position to tend to your students and to your own well-being. A shortened class session that leaves students feeling positive about the community is often more impactful than a longer one that is less focused, right? So if it feels like you want to end class at 60 minutes instead of pushing through to 75, you can do it, right? A short reading that students can really spend some time reflecting upon can have more impact than a longer one that they struggle to complete, right? So if you're thinking small and thinking about how you're experiencing the class and how your students are experiencing the class, right? Let that guide your decision-making. Okay. Think about, again, how your students are perceiving and receiving your instructions, and don't be afraid to shift directions. The third idea is community. Community is a concept which is crucial, and you'll see this from reading the handbook. It's crucial to teaching and to doing academic work more broadly. And it can sustain you this semester, and it can sustain you through a career in the academy. If you've not done so already, try to find your people within this space. Community can provide practical as well as emotional support. Talk to each other about teaching, talk to the other students in your cohorts or in your programs, or students who are a cohort above you or cohort next year or cohort behind you. Come to the TLC events and office hours and be in community with us. And then see the students that you're teaching as part of a community that needs to be nurtured and tended to. Right? Now, this has always been true. Community has always been at the heart of effective pedagogy, but it's especially so in the current context where social isolation has increased and where our relationships at the institutions where we do our work are often confusing and stressful. Feeling that your work is part of a community enlivens and deepens your pedagogical life and experiences. So these are just a few ideas that I want to kind of set as starting points for the thinking that we're going to do over the next couple of weeks. I'm confident that these ideas and many, many more will resonate in your conversations at the Institute and beyond, okay? So I'd like to turn now to the structure of the Institute and just kind of walk through what that looks like. Let me share my screen and bring up the schedule. Okay, Chrome share. Okay, so you should all see the schedule for the Institute. Yes? Okay. Okay, so at the heart of the Institute is a seminar, and you'll be going from this session in about 10-15 minutes into your seminar meeting. You've all been assigned to a seminar which will meet 5 times in the next 2 weeks. Seminar are small interdisciplinary groups designed to build community centered around exploring what it means to teach as graduate students in CUNY. The seminar will introduce and model teaching strategies and tools that you all can use and adapt to your own needs and context. And they'll be applicable across modes of instruction, right? So in your seminar, you may have someone who's teaching face-to-face, someone who's teaching hybrid, someone who's teaching fully online, right? We want to think about how the questions and guidance and models can serve each of those spaces. The seminar begins broadly with core principles and then explores ways to enact those through hands-on course design and planning, okay? Plenary sessions, and we have 2 more this week on Tuesday and on Thursday at 1 o'clock, are all group gatherings that will expose Institute attendees to a range of ways that folks at CUNY think about and discuss teaching and learning. And Tuesday, you'll hear experienced CUNY faculty talk about their teaching, and each of the panelists on Tuesday are actually alums of the Graduate Center who've gone on to full-time teaching positions at CUNY and different colleges. And on Thursday, you'll hear a group of undergraduate students talk about their experience. You'll have opportunities to ask questions of both panels. And these are always highlights of the Institute. It's great to see more experienced college teachers talk about what motivates them and excites them and challenges them about their teaching. It's amazing to hear CUNY undergraduates talk openly and honestly about what works for them in the classroom. So I encourage you to be here for those. At 11:30 today, we'll have a voluntary session, just a open Zoom meeting, which is an open discussion with TLC staff where you can talk to us about anything you like. We'll just have that as an open space. Workshops, we're offering 19 workshops as part of this Institute. Most of the workshops will be, actually all of the workshops are open to all Graduate Center students, and most of them will also be open to Graduate Center faculty. You can register for and attend as many as you'd like, and workshop registration is open as of this morning, right? And you'll have time in the seminar today to look at the workshop listings and think about which appeal to you, and they give you an opportunity to do a deeper dive on some of the concepts that will be introduced in the seminar. So I encourage you to take advantage of those. Next Monday, we'll host a syllabus peer review session, right? At the end of seminar on Thursday, you'll be asked to start putting together your syllabus if you haven't done so. And there'll be an opportunity on Monday to come and to get feedback on your syllabus from other participants in the Institute in a structure that we will facilitate, okay? And then you also see that on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and then most of next week, we have office hours, which are just drop-in Zoom meetings where you can come and be paired up with a TLC staff member to talk about a particular issue, right? So we have these general experiences which help you build the foundation, right? But then lots of individualized opportunities for you to think in dialogue with us as facilitators of the Institute about the particulars of your situation. So we encourage you to take advantage of that. If you've not done so, I strongly encourage you to join the Slack team for the Institute. And Laurie, if I could ask you to just put the Slack link into the chat so that folks have it handy so they can join if they haven't already. Slack is going to be the way where we send out information to you all about answers to questions that we're seeing, additional resources, sample syllabi. There's several channels within the Slack team. And let me I will share this and walk you through it. Okay. So you'll see there's several channels, hallway chats, which are for informal conversation. If you have questions about the stipends, you can post them into this Slack channel. Random is, hopefully we'll see lots of funny GIFs there. There's a Slack team or Slack channel for each of the Institute seminars. If you need help with tech support, you can post there, okay? And resources connected to the workshops will all be posted to this channel. So this is a space that we hope will fill the role of connection that when we're face-to-face happens organically at the Graduate Center. But because of our distance, we're gonna rely on Slack to fulfill those needs, right? But we'll also be sending out announcements and any shifts in scheduling through the Slack channel, okay? We know it's a lot of information. We'll reiterate a lot of this in the seminar and through additional communications. We won't be sending out mass emails. Again, all the information is gonna go out through the Slack and through your seminar, okay? So at this point, I would like to invite my team at the TLC to introduce them. These are the folks who have worked tirelessly for the past several months putting this institute together, and all of last year thinking about ways to sustain principled connections to conversations about teaching and learning for members of the Graduate Center community. They give me a lot of joy to work with every week, and really proud of the work that we do together. And I'd like to invite them to introduce themselves to you so you can put a name with a face with the name that you see. And we'll start with TLC coordinator, Cristine Khan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cristine Khan. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the program coordinator for the TLC. So you'll be hearing a lot from me about the stipends more than anything, but I'm also a PhD student in sociology, an upcoming third-year student. So I began teaching last year. I participated in the Summer Institute last year as well. So I'm here to help if you have any questions about teaching online. My first time teaching at CUNY was also virtual, so I can provide hands-on first-year advice with that if you ever want to reach out about that. But in the meantime, you're also free to reach out to me about the stipends. I know that a lot of people have had questions about paperwork, so feel free to email me, and I'm also here for general support. It's nice to meet all of you, and I hope that we can stay in touch throughout the seminars. And I'll pass it to Laurie.
Thanks, Cristine. Hi, everybody. I'm Laurie Hurson. I'm the Open Educational Technologist at the TLC. So I usually support faculty teaching on the CUNY Academic Commons, but I'm here to support all of our tech needs for the Institute. And aside from that, I'm leading a seminar, but I'm also an environmental psych student who's finishing up a dissertation on learning ecologies throughout CUNY. Someday I'll finish, like we all will. I've taught psychology and principle of new media classes at John Jay and at Baruch, and I've also taught hybrid courses. So I'm happy to talk about how to structure a hybrid and mixing modes of instruction. So I guess I'll see you around all week and in the Slack. So feel free to reach out if you want to have any tech problems or just want to talk about hybrid teaching. And I will pass it to Atassi.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Atassi Bass. I am also ABD in the urban education program. I hope to be completing soon. I'm excited to meet, well, hopefully see everybody in digitally in person soon. I am a TLC staff member. This is my second year with the organization, and it's really an incredible group of people to learn with. I feel like I've been in education for a number of years in K-12 settings, and have worked in Brooklyn College in the education department, as well as Hostos and City College, and having the conversations and learning from my colleagues here has been so incredible. And I'm excited to be joining everybody participants wise to learn from you too. Yeah, so I look forward to meeting everybody soon. I'm going to pass it on to John.
Hey everybody, I'm John Zayac. My pronouns are he, him, or any. And I am also ABD for a while now in the Earth and Environmental Science program. I'm a geologist, and I'm a former TLC fellow, and now I am a Carnegie Educational Technology Fellow. And yeah, most of my CUNY teaching has been at Queens College, and before that I taught community college and a couple other colleges. Yeah, and I will pass it on to Inés. Have you gone? No, Inés.
Thank you, John. Buenos dias, everybody. My name is Inés. I'm really happy to be here. This is going to be kind of like my last event at the Grad Center / TLC. I just graduated from LILAC, Latin American, Iberian, and Latino cultures. And I'm really excited to spend kind of like the last 2 weeks at the Grad Center doing this summer institute, because I have enjoyed it for like several years. And I did my teaching in several campuses within the CUNY, and I'll be teaching in New England next fall, starting basically in 10 days. So happy to share everything that I learned within this team and with all the graduate students in the last 8 years at the GC, many years. And I'm really excited for your new adventure. And I'm gonna pass it to Katie.
Congratulations, Inés. I was trying to find a little face in the bottom of the script, like an emotion, but I guess I'll just use my own face and say, I'm really happy for you. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Yuva. I'm an ABD student in the history department, New York City historian. I'm the manager of editorial projects at the TLC, which means if you haven't already gotten acquainted with it, our good friend, the Teach at CUNY handbook has been my purview for the last year. And I'll be excited to hear your feedback on it, and we'll keep on adapting it and updating it with your thoughts in mind. I've taught at Lehman, at Brooklyn College, and I currently teach at Baruch. I've taught asynchronous, synchronous, and in person. And I also have a background and I spent several years as a museum educator at the Museum of the City of New York. So I've spent time in galleries, giving tours to K-12 groups, seniors, you name it. They've been taught by me. But I'm really excited to get started with all of you. I'll be leading one seminar, co-leading, and looking forward to meeting you. I'm gonna throw it over to Luis.
Good morning, all. Well, my name is Luis. I graduated from the LILAC program in the Latin American Literature track a couple of years ago. I have been teaching at CUNY since around 2010. I work at the TLC as a full-time staff and also with the Humanities Alliance. That is a program that connects graduate center students with community colleges. Since I'm a sort of full-time staff, I'll be there full-time to support you through your teaching journey at the Graduate Center at CUNY. So looking forward to meet you this week, but also being there available for you during the semester and beyond. And I'm going to pass what do we pass? To Kai.
Thanks, Louise. Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna try not to have an awkward introduction because I do that a lot. My name is Kai Sprauve. Just call me Kai, and if that's a problem, you'll tell me, but just call me Kai. I am also an ABD student. It's a big ABD club here in the English department. My specific field is composition and rhetoric. It's a hidden center in the English program. So if you have any questions or are curious about comp, please let me know. It's really fun, and I wish more people knew about it. What else should I say? I have taught at Lehman College. I taught African American history, African American literature, and Black feminism. I feel like I don't know what else to say. Yeah, if you have any questions about like literacies, or if you're interested in the history of writing and teaching, I'll talk your ear off about it. So just let me know. And I hope that as this institute progresses, it'll be clear like how important teaching is to us, and you'll be able to also get that sort of teaching bug, and use that to help you move through your first semester and beyond, and it'll work out. It'll be great. So welcome, and thank you all for being here. We're really excited, and I'm gonna pass this to Miranda.
Beautiful intro as always, Kai. Hi, everyone. I'm Miranda Fedock, she, her pronouns. I've had the honor and privilege of being a TLC fellow for the past year. This is my first institute. I'm really excited about it. Excited to geek out about teaching with everybody. I am a PhD candidate in the music program at the GC in ethnomusicology. If you don't know what that is, it's like study of music and culture, basically. And I have been teaching. So I've been teaching in the music department at City College for the past 5-ish years. And I'm going to be starting this semester at BMCC as well. Before that, I taught Suzuki violin to like 3 through 10-year-olds. I taught high school chamber ensembles. I've taught really from like ages 3 to 103 and everything in between at some point in my teaching career. So I just have had the honor to learn so much from my fellows and my colleagues here at the TLC this past year. It's really expanded my mind in a lot of ways about what teaching can be and what teaching maybe should be, especially at places like CUNY. And I'm really, really excited to get to talk that over with all of you. Yeah, I think I was going to say 5 more things, but I forgot all of them. So I'm going to pass it to Talisa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Talisa. I use she and they pronouns. I'm an exiting TLC fellow, and I'll be leading a seminar with Miranda, and we have also some workshops that I'm running with some other folks. I'm ABD in cultural anthropology, finishing up my dissertation as well. My dissertation is on public space and policing as a function of empire. And I do that through looking at trains in New York City and performers on the trains. I was a CUNY undergrad student and before I got to the Graduate Center, and I've taught at CUNY, at City College, Hunter College, Brooklyn College, the Macaulay's Honors College, mostly in anthropology, introductory courses, but also some Latin American studies courses. I've taught hybrid courses and face-to-face before the pandemic, and I've also taught online during the pandemic. Very interested in different teaching strategies and how to expand access to the university, and I look forward to meeting everyone.
So thank you to the TLC team for all of your work, putting this institute together, and your presence and your generosity. I know that the attendees will benefit from that. And now we can break and go to seminar. We'll take a couple minutes break. Everyone get some water, bathroom break, and meet in your seminar Zooms in about 5 minutes, okay? Have a great day, everyone. We'll be back in a common space again at 11:30 for Q&A, and we're looking forward to a great couple weeks with you all. Be well.
See you soon.
Thank you.